Hope and Allison hit the water with a rock and roll rescuer.
This was hanging off that poor bird. Like, come on, really?
They're discovering the secrets of saving pelicans.
Look at this thing.
Wow. You don't know how lucky you are, little guy.
It's Hope Gone Hollywood in sunny Southern California. As man pushes further and further into the wild, nature suffers. This unique rehab center on Canada's East Coast offers injured and orphaned animals one last chance. 1,000 animals, 100 volunteers, and one woman at the center of it all. Her name is Hope. Hope and Allison are in Hollywood, California. But they're not just here to see the sights. Their destination is just outside the massive metropolis of LA. Huntington Beach, California, Surf City, USA. It's also famous for fishing, and that can cause a lot of trouble for the seabirds that live along the Pacific coastline. Each year, thousands of seabirds wind up here, Wetlands and Wildlife Care Center. It's hidden in plain sight, right on the Pacific Coast Highway and in the shadow of a massive power plant. The rehab handles 3,000 patients each year. They have dozens of volunteers, a fully functional animal hospital, and unique outdoor enclosures. They care for a few mammals every year, but their specialty is seabirds, especially pelicans.
It's gonna be a pretty wicked day.
And that's why Hope and Allison are on their way.
I'm excited for this rehab. It sounds really interesting. And like they have lots for us to do.
Yes, it's gonna be a busy day.
I feel like there's going to be a run and tackle on a pelican.
I wonder if we're gonna get wet. I'm sure we will. And it's on a migratory path.
So I guess it's right in here.
But we're kind of right on a migratory path too.
We are.
Yeah.
Which is why we end up with pelicans.
They have a little experience with pelicans already. Last autumn, a huge hurricane blew a pelican straight into Hope's life. It was 2,000 kilometers from home. Hope for Wildlife was its only chance at survival. Hope managed to get it home to North Carolina, but not without some close calls regarding the pelican's health. Ralph might have been the most famous pelican Hope ever had, but Hope believes it won't be the last.
Well, we've had a few pelicans in, 3 to be exact, and we could have more. People are saying that the migratory path of these birds are changing, so I wouldn't be surprised if, we might get them once a year or something like that.
If they want to learn about pelicans, Hope and Allison have come to the right place.
Hello. Hi. You must be Allison
Yeah.
and Hope. Hi. I'm
Nice.
Debbie. Nice to meet
Nice to
you
meet
guys.
you.
Well, I'd like to start off maybe by giving you a little tour of the place. And here would be our surgery.
Oh, wow.
So, of course.
Oh, wow.
Well, ours is nice.
Ours is nice too.
So here was a pelican that didn't make it. He actually came in, was real down, hemorrhaging, and then passed away. Yeah. So we shot an x-ray and he had a long line.
A lot of the seabirds that arrive at Wetlands and Wildlife have the same problem. They've been snagged with hooks, lures, and other tackle left behind by careless fishermen. Sometimes birds mistake the lures for fish.
And this one was a cormorant that came in.
And sometimes, an irresponsible fisherman snags a seabird, then cuts his line.
Would you just leave, if there's hooks placed in certain places, would you just leave them if they're inoperable?
Yeah, sometimes, if they're not showing any problems. But this had a line attached to it, so we knocked him out under ISO and we got it out.
But no matter what happens, it's bad news for the bird.
Check out the jar.
Oh yeah, check out the jar.
How long would this be?
Not long.
Every one of these hooks and lures was removed from seabirds at Wetlands and Wildlife, and this is just a few weeks' worth.
And we actually got that hook out.
Other common cases here include birds poisoned by toxic algae blooms and environmental pollution.
When you say you flush them to treat it, do you go IV or do you, what's involved in flushing?
We do IV if they can't hold their head up, otherwise we're going to do the oral fluids.
Okay.
Back here is our treatment room.
Hope and Debbie have more than wildlife rehab in common. They also have the same day job.
I'm a hospital administrator.
Same as me.
For a vet.
Oh,
I know
that's so
when
cool.
I know.
That's so cool.
Isn't that weird?
How long have you been doing that?
I did, let's see, I started that in 97, so
I started in
14.
90.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I started rehab in 90, so I've been 21 years.
So you've been doing more rehab than you have veterinary?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wetlands and Wildlife is designed to mobilize in case of environmental emergencies.
In an oil spill, these are our wash stations. So it can wash, it runs down all the oiled water. We would be going through with lots of buckets.
Offshore oil rigs and tankers dot the California coastline. When a spill happens, Wetlands and Wildlife can handle hundreds of seabirds at a time.
A lot of steel cages. In an oil spill, we have to be capacity to up to 600
Wow.
in this one building. So you're really...
Can you fit 600 in this?
It depends on the species, yeah.
It's pretty impressive that they were ready to go for 600 oil birds. I mean, here in Nova Scotia, if we had 20 oil birds, we'd be in trouble. We aren't set up, we have nothing in place, no plans made for what we would do if we had a catastrophe like that.
Bringing animals in and out. This is our, I think it's 6,000 square feet of outside caging.
Wow, this place is big.
I only heard that you've had a pelican recently, but I didn't hear the whole
We've
story.
had three, but recently we had one, and he arrived after a huge hurricane, and he got blown to us. And we know nothing about pelicans. We never claimed to know anything about pelicans, so we started researching because we didn't want him to die. You know, how do you tube a pelican? It's pretty easy now that we know how, but there was so much learning that came with getting...
And they're a big bird.
And, you know, there's been more sightings since then. There's been fishermen that have called and said, oh, there's another pelican out with my boats, and, you know, so it could be something that we see more and more.
Well, I think it might be. They keep going further north because of the food, and the climate is staying warmer, and so you should, you might want to do a quick study on those pelicans that he walks by.
So this is cool.
So
The pelicans
yeah,
get along.
they'll get along.
That one looks like wow.
When Hope and Allison get their first look at a Pacific brown pelican, they can't help but think of Ralph.
Doesn't it just bring back memories, Allison?
Yes.
Maybe it's Ralph.
All the pelicans, they look just like Ralph. It was Ralph everywhere.
These birds are virtually identical to their Atlantic cousins. But on the Pacific, the brown pelican is an endangered species. It was brought back from the brink of extinction in the 1970s. That's why it's so important Wetlands and Wildlife exists to rehabilitate injured pelicans and get them back to the wild.
You can tell their age by the color of their head on the brown pelican. So that you have a first year, a second year, probably a second or third year is an older guy.
So would those two be males and this a female?
I would have to measure their beak.
Okay.
You measure it from the culmen to the tip of the beak there. If it's 34 centimeters or larger, it's a male. 32 or shorter, it's a female, at least
So
for
it's
our...
not that big a difference.
No, and anything in between, it could, you don't know.
Debbie believes one of these pelicans could be ready to return to the wild today. And the man who rescued the pelican is returning for its release. But this isn't your average wildlife rescuer. And he's about to recruit Hope and Allison for a search and rescue mission off California's coast. Hope and Allison are in sunny Southern California. They're learning about pelicans at the Wetlands and Wildlife Rehabilitation Center in Huntington Beach. The staff are rounding up a pelican they believe is near the end of his rehabilitation. He could go back to the wild today, but before he can fly free, he needs to clear one final medical exam. Every outgoing patient receives a full examination, including blood work.
This is Kelly, this is Hope and Allison, and this is Talisha. Hope and Allison are from Nova Scotia, and they're here gonna learn all about pelicans from you if they would really be interested to learn how to draw some blood. So I'm gonna hand it off to you.
Okay.
Debbie knows Hope and Allison want experience, so she's asked Allison to collect the sample. Allison's never drawn blood before, so she's thrilled to get a little hands-on education.
Have you done this on, no, nothing? Oh my gosh. Okay.
You've taken blood on other species.
Other animals?
I've watched it a lot.
Okay.
I pay very close attention, but I've never actually done it.
All right, so,
We already offered.
the pelican's nervous. Don't miss it.
I think it's really cool because I've never done it before, and I don't know if they realize that, and they're just gonna let me go in there and do it. So I thought they had a lot of faith in me, which I really appreciated.
Give it a good rub because their feet get dirty. They're walking in poo and everything else. Yeah.
I think it's warm.
Vein runs right across the top of their toe.
Okay.
So what we're gonna do is take the needle out. Needle's right there.
Step 1. Insert the needle into the vein.
Okay, and just go straight in.
So
Just go straight across.
right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. Go ahead. Try that. Should be some there. There you go. Perfect.
Sweet.
Oh yeah. Go ahead and pull it out.
That's all you need.
Yep.
Wow.
That's it. And then
Yeah.
go ahead and just fill up the crit tube. You can hold it almost all the way upside down. Kind of roll it a little bit.
Next, they have to isolate the sample so it's ready to be analyzed.
So you want to take this, put your finger on top of it, and don't push too hard. Push it into the clay. Yeah, just push into the clay.
Is that enough?
Yeah. We'll stick it at number 24. Just put it back in the clay. That way it won't fall out.
They measure the bird's beak to see if it's male or female.
So you start up here with a little feather, start right there, and you just kind of hold it down here, and you measure all the way down. This is already marked off.
Oh, cool.
Oh, you are. You are a male.
You're a boy. It's a boy.
36. It's right where it curves down is where you want to look.
Okay.
So it's a boy. I called you a girl. I'm sorry. I know. That's how you can tell. It's a length thing. You always make sure this is down, and then you just go ahead and just snug it up tight.
Now the blood's put into a special machine.
And then turn on to 5 and you wait. It's a waiting thing. And then after that, we'll read it. Cool. Yeah. And then what we're going to do is put the very bottom.
The centrifuge separates the white blood cells from the red blood cells.
It's a little white line, kind
The
of.
staff look at 3 different indicators in the blood to decide whether the pelican is fit to return to the wild.
Cool. And that tells you that everything's functioning well inside their body, and his bloods are really good. So he's on his way out today.
It's good to go.
Yeah,
So you do
it's good to
this
go.
for everything before you release it.
Everything, yeah.
Wow. So I think now that I see how easy it is to do, it's something we could totally do back at Hope's and before we release our birds, just to see what's going on and make sure they're really ready to go.
Debbie gives the final word and clears the pelican for release.
Awesome.
Good job.
Thank you.
So this one actually did come in with fishing line injury. It was, we took a radiograph. We saw a single hook down the esophagus.